Well, welcome everybody. This is going to be my first official tutorial video, and I think today I'm going to be doing a straight-on view of the head. So over the next couple weeks I'll do a straight-on today, 3/4 maybe next week, and then a profile the following week. So hopefully this helps, and I guess we'll start. When drawing a head from the front view, start with an egg the best you can. Now it's always going to differ depending on the character. Some characters will have more of a, some characters you can have a square head. Some characters can just have more of a round head. I mean, there's endless shapes for different characters. Some people can just have very skinny heads. Just completely, I mean, there's just endless ideas that you can use. And the proportions on that we're going to break down, they're endless too, but there's a base that you can start from so that you can always capture the same look for each character. So after you have the egg shape, then you split it down the middle in half. Alright, like that. And then you split it in half the opposite direction. Okay, so you split it in half, and then this is kind of like where your eye line is. And so I usually put it right like that, like right almost through the eye. Some might say you go under the line, some might say you go above the line. I just break it down the center, put them in the center. There should be space enough for another eyeball, especially in manga. If you're going by realistic proportions, usually the eye starts. Now, see, let's do this. Take this from here to the bottom of the chin, break that in half. That's usually where your nose line is, where the bottom of the nose is, and then break this in half again. And that's usually like around the area where you put your mouth. So then, what I was saying here was that when you draw the nose out like this, then in realistic, the eye would be touching about right there on that line. But in manga, you want to make sure there's enough space for the same size eye in between. It probably equals out to just about the same. So eyebrows, you know, just put them in there. I'm not sure if there's actually a breakdown for that. And then the bottom of the ear is usually in line with the nose. And then the top of the ear is usually between the eye and the eyebrow. Obviously this isn't the shape of most people's faces, they're not round like that. So we'll get the jawline and the chin. The jaw is usually in line with the mouth. So right about there. Depending on your character, you can have a more strong jaw, which would also give you a stronger, wider chin, like that. And then, so this is the side of the head, but then you'll have hair, so you bring it out like that. Be out a little bit further than the head. Now I draw in a manga style, so the eyes are always going to vary in shape, size. I mean, there's some manga characters that are just pretty much a shape like that all the time. I don't normally draw that way, so I'll get rid of that. But it's always a good idea for a different character. And maybe along the line somewhere I'll create somebody like that. But for now, we'll stick with just a regular. So now see how I'm using that circle that I drew originally as like the outline of the eye. So there's a line up here, then I do a little line right there, and then these are like, go to like an arrow point on the side, and then another line on the bottom. And then the eyeball. And then always just try to make, when you're just looking straight, make the top, touch the top of the eye there, like that. There's like that arrow shape. I see this guy as being maybe in his 20s, late 20s, early 30s maybe. Because he still has like a circular eye or a bigger eye. Now if I was drawing somebody a little bit older, I would maybe not give them so much roundness to their eyes. Keep it more like that. A little bit more squinty, and I mean that would even get any worse. And then you can throw in the bags under their eyes, as you can see there, and then so something like that. But so yeah, he's in his 20s, 30s. Eyebrows. Eyebrows can differ in size. I mean, you guys probably know some of the characters, like from Naruto, and Rock Lee has huge eyebrows, so does Guy. So, but this guy's gonna have little ones. That's another thing about the eyes. When you look at Naruto, yeah, Rock Lee's eyes are just circles with a circle inside. But it makes his character, it really makes him look cool, I think, gives him character. So yeah, there's other breakdowns. And I think that another division, if I remember correctly, is halfway between here and here, I think it is. That's where the hairline is usually, or something like that. I'm not positive on that, but I think that's how it is. So, but once again, for anime or manga, things are so different. Like, now I am just making this character up on the fly, so if you end up not liking him or saying, it's a horrible character design, well, I'm just doing it right now, so. And then hopefully I'll be able to throw in a couple quick ones over here with these other shapes. Maybe I'll try to do something else to show you guys how the perspectives from the front can change, and how you start from a regular one from the regular perspective, or the regular proportions of the face, and then manipulate them in a certain way. I hope you guys are seeing these blue lines really well. There we go. When you're drawing ears, try not to overdo them. There's a manga called, I think in Japanese it's Hajime no Ippo, but it's a boxing manga. And I have a hard time reading that manga just because of the way he draws the ears. It frustrates me. There's so many lines. Just try to keep it simple. I think that looks more realistic to what a real ear is. So there you go. There's that character. We're going to make this circle more of a kid. So we'll break it down in half. There we go. In half. In half. And in half. Alright, so children usually have bigger eyes. And their noses are always closer to the eyes than an adult's. That's something to remember. Let's cut this in half pretty much for the hairline. Plus a child doesn't have as many sharp features. Like he won't have like this jaw, like how sharp it is down there. It'll be more curved. There, my son liked Astro Boy, so I'll make this guy Astro Boy-esque. I'm going in with a darker pencil now so you guys can see it better, because this is a little bit smaller. I always want you guys to remember that if you ever want to suggest something for me to draw, let me know. More on like how to draw something, not like a character you want me to draw. Unless you have like a creator-owned character that you'd like me to use when I'm doing one of these, that'd be kind of fun for me, I think. See how I split it down, and already you can see how the proportions change out, you know, just because it's a long, slender head. So if you go by the proportions, I mean, this guy could have some pretty long ears. Maybe a skinnier nose or something, or maybe one of those longer noses. Now break it down and give him a very small, skinny chin. Almost looks like Spock to me in some ways. Yeah, come up here and fix this. I haven't really finished it here. Just leave some light on that side of the ring. Come back to this guy now. Now I'm telling you, all these were from my head, so if you're designing a characters, there's so much you can do with it. Already you can see that the differences just by changing the head shape really changes things that you can do. And like on this guy, he wouldn't have to have a big nose. He could have a nose way up here or something, and have like a big gap between his mouth, or bring his mouth up here and have a big gap between the bottom of his chin. There's just so much you can do with character design. Okay, come over to this guy, this square-headed guy. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this guy yet. Kind of had an idea when I was doing them, but I will just break down the proportions first. Okay, I think I'm going to drop his chin down here just a little bit more. Now see, I'm already distorting the proportions here because, remember, we would usually have the jawline up by the mouth, but the mouth's up here, so that's already distorted the proportion. This guy, I think I'm just going to give him like a squinty eye or something. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out then. And for some reason I think meatheads like this guy would just have like a small ear. So that's what I'm going to give him. Now these are like jaw lines. Now I got this style doing this kind of from Joe Mad and kind of from a woman who draws Full Metal Alchemist. I forget what her name is. Hiromu Arakawa, I think that's her name. But I think it looks cool when you do that. Maybe I'll give this guy big eyebrows. Kind of like Rock Lee or Guy. And then we'll give him a receding hairline like me. There we go. Now we'll darken it in. Alright, so there you go. There's that last guy. I hope this was helpful for you guys. And I'll probably darken this guy in now too, just to give him a clear shot. Maybe I'll just speed that up. But there you go. Hopefully that gives you an idea of how to draw a character from straight on plus in varying different sizes and shapes. So, hope that helps. my comic book, Legend of the King. It is published right now, and you can purchase it on the publisher's website, on Amazon, on barnesandnoble.com, I think. So you can purchase it at any of those places. If you don't purchase online, you can go to your bookstores and ask them to order it in for you. It's called Legend of the King, Kios Chronicles. It's all black and white like most manga, but there's lots of action, humor, fun, fantasy, a little bit of sci-fi here and there. But yeah, I would be very blessed to have you guys pick it up and support me in that way. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you next time right here. Keep on drawing.